Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Selvaratnam. I am here so proud to be with the Harness 100 Days. I'm going to be joined by my sister, Sarah, and we are going to be talking about gender justice and this year of opportunity. Oh, hi.
Hi, I can hear you, but I can't see you yet. Oh no. Oh, there we are. Phew. That's the most stressful thing about any Instagram live. It's like, can I do it?
So Sarah Sophie and I are here. We want to start by holding space for the Atlanta shooting victims, which sadly is very relevant to the conversation we are going to be having today. Mm-hmm. So just prayers and thoughts with all of them, and also calling out the misogyny and racism that is so inherent in what happened there. So to everyone who has been impacted, to all the sadness, we hold space for you.
We hold space, we grieve with you, and may their memories be a blessing. Tanya's book just came out, and you can buy it, and it could not be a more perfect time for this conversation. And I love this book so much because in some ways it's so personal, because I've known you throughout this whole experience, and I'd love for you to talk about it a bit and we can just dive right into it. But also it's like so timely, and it's written so clearly, and there's so many excellent resources in here. And similar, Tanya and I were talking earlier today, I mean, similar to when the rise of Tarana Burke's Me Too finally gained a lot of public steam, however many years ago, 3 years ago, whatever that was. I'm a feminist, I'm a lifelong feminist, and there were things that I was like, oh, I didn't realize that we could publicly take issue with that. The amount of times my pussy's been grabbed or whatever, it's like I just never even thought to say anything about it. So, again, when it comes to intimate violence, there are flags and behaviors that I think your book really brought to light for me in a way that I feel almost embarrassed about. So I would love for you to talk about it.
Well, first of all, definitely don't be embarrassed about it, because I feel that so much of what the book gets at is chipping away at the patriarchy that normalizes the cycle of violence that we are conditioned to accept from the time that we're born. And also this conditioning that men have to dominate and that we have to accept their domination and be silent. Yeah. And I think what has been remarkable about the last few years, because of Me Too and Time's Up, is that women are sharing their stories and men are sharing their stories, because 1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men will experience some form of intimate partner violence in their lifetimes. And millions of those people who experience it do so before they turn 18. So I wrote the book for them. I wrote the book for people to spot, stop, and prevent intimate partner violence in their own lives. And also I really wanted to take the reader from through my journey from victim to survivor to thriver, and hopefully help others find their light too. There needs to be a whole ecosystem overhaul, because it's not just about the, I talk about how there's needs to be like a war between feminists and patriarchs, and those on the side of feminists are not only women, and those on the side of patriarchs are not only men. Yeah. So it's like to unpack and unravel that. Yeah. And I'm just grateful that we have this year of opportunity to do that.
Yeah, well, and there's plenty of women, like specifically white women, who uphold systems of repression because of their proximity to power, and that, that is what we've been taught that power is. And, I am the proudest feminist there is, but I do also think like sometimes feminism is implicated in all this stuff, because it was never, it never should be that we were trying to emulate systems of power that were not created to benefit us. And we will never win doing that, obviously, but it does require like a self-examination, at least for myself, of what does power mean to me? what does success mean to me? What does, what does womanhood mean to me? What is, all the things that I think are framed in coded masculine structures need to be dismantled.
I'd love for us to talk about joy.
I would love to talk about joy.
I was so grateful when we worked on Joy to the Polls together. And I would love for us to talk about that, because that is such an example of like true power culture.
One of the great things that's come out of this very painful period of the last 4+ years is, we are seeing narrative shifts. And one of the narrative shifts that I really welcome is this idea that like joy is an act of resistance, which is a line from a Toy Derricott poem that when we started the Resistance Revival Chorus in 2017, that was like our tagline. Nalini Stamp and I just recognized we need joy, and we need music, and we need art, and we need creativity. And, so often, almost always, culture is upstream of policy, and public opinion really does affect policy. So we created Joy to the Polls because there was all this voter suppression, right? Voter suppression should not exist. We don't want to like turn voter suppression into like a joyful act in any way. But when we are confronted with oppression, when we are confronted with inequality, sometimes there are ways to like pivot to like collective joy and to combat ugliness with beauty. And I do think, that has proven to be very successful throughout time immemorial. And, what we know is that when, diverse groups of people with a common cause gather together, when it becomes like a critical mass, which is not, it's like 25% of the population or whatever, then shit changes. You see radical change.
Well, I feel like the year of opportunity is about spreading as much joy as possible, because we need to make kindness and peace more exciting than violence. Mm-hmm. And I feel like joy is a key to that.
I just want to say that I am so proud to be your friend. I always have been. Your openness and willingness to share your story is just so important, and I love you so much. And thank you.
I love you too so much
for all the work you do.
And yes, thank you for being my collaborator, my friend, my sister, my family of choice, and sending love to the harness community and to everybody who's been watching.